What do you know about Davidson, Coach?
I know that Bob McKillop is one of the top 10 coaches in the country. Has always been very kind to me. He's one of the charter members of the Nike coaches group, so that's how I got to know him. Don't know a lot about their players. I know they're back-to-back league champs in the Southern Conference, but other than that, I don't know much about their personnel.
Did you expect to get a 3 seed?
No.
What's that feeling like, seeing the 3 flash up?
I think it's deserving. Your question was, did I think we would get it? I think that the committee is much more aware and probably paying more attention to out-of-conference scheduling. And I think that in our tenure here, each year we've become more accountable to that. The problem is when you go on the road, you're probably at times going to get smacked like we did at Florida. But in the end, it comes back and helps you because it proves to the committee that you were willing to try. And you look at some of the other BCS teams, if you really study their non-conference schedule, they're not doing a lot. And when you play an unbalanced schedule, like some of the BCS teams do, when you don't do a lot in non-conference, it puts a lot of pressure on you. And I don't know, we were an 11 seed the first time we went to the Sweet 16, and we were a 3 seed last year. So I don't know if seeding necessarily dictates success. I think that seeding proves your achievement up until this point in time. And so it's a delicate balance of non-conference schedule. How many games are you going to buy? How many home-and-home legitimate series? I think there's some math to it, and I think that the people that are now on the committee are paying really good attention to the math.
To follow up on that question, and how much in your mind do you think the cancellation of the Ohio State game helped you or hurt you?
I would say it had neither impact if we were a 3 seed. Obviously, we couldn't control that, but that we were willing to play that probably didn't hurt us. But I don't know that it necessarily helped us because our body of work, we've only played 31 games, which is, I think there's only one team. I would have to look at it. I was just watching it like you were, but I think there was only one team that's played less games than us, and that's Georgetown, whose game was canceled at halftime, and then somehow they didn't schedule a non-conference game after Christmas. So, but I think everybody else has played more games than we have.
Plus, when you look at the schedule, the seedings that your fellow conference teams got, what does it say about the strength of the conference?
Can you tell me what they were?
I think
Villanova's a 9, Pitt's an 8.
Syracuse a 1, Georgetown 2.
Hold on, you go ahead, Andrew.
I think it was Louisville 1, Georgetown 2, you guys 3, Hughes 4. I don't remember who got the 5. Pitt
was a 5?
Pitt got an 8.
I don't think Pitt was a 5.
Pitt got an 8.
Oh, they got an 8. I don't remember who got the 5. It was basically
Notre Dame.
1 through.
Notre Dame may have been a 5, or Notre Dame was a 7. I don't think anybody got a 5.
Okay. So yeah, that's a pretty good representation.
Good. When you so much attention is brought to March Madness. I understand this is the largest conglomeration of media that ever come to talk to me, and it's because it's March. But from January the 1st through the 2nd week of March, that's a long grind. And it's 18 games, but the problem is that it's 14 different scouting reports because this year we're going to play 4 mirror opponents. Well, the other 10 games are single prep, and that's tough. That's tough, and so I think our league should be represented the way that it was.
You saw Tom Izzo's comment about how at this point he'd rather play the Lakers than have to play another Big Ten team. Can you buy into the notion that the rigors of a top conference like the Big Ten, like the Big East, does pay off when you come to tournament time?
I don't think that it hurts. Yeah, I'm glad we don't have to play any more Big East teams. I think it gives your team and your staff new life. You know, like, okay, let's hurry up and get back to the office and figure out who's on the team and how many games do we have and how many games do we have to get flown in, how many games can we get on the internet tonight. It is exciting because it's the tournament, but just that it's new blood, you know, and you got to figure it out, and that's the kind of the ebb and flow of January, February, and the first 2 weeks of March when you're playing against teams, everyone. Like, if you looked at our schedule after over the Christmas break, you'd look at it and go, I wonder who they're going to beat. I did. I look at our schedule and I go, I'm not sure if we can win a game. And part of that's coaching, but part of that's true. Like, who are we going to beat? And for us to have won 14 games after what we lost, I think it says an incredible amount about the kids on our team.
Junior said he tries to take it one game at a time during the tournament, and he's going to tell everybody that. Do you agree with that, or do you want to put a little extra significance that it is the NCAA tournament?
Well, I just told our guys we practice this afternoon, so we'll practice Monday, Tuesday in Milwaukee, and then practice Wednesday, a real practice, and then the practice you come to where we just shoot balls and I'll try to make a shot. But if we're going to practice again in Caston after Tuesday, it's a 2-game tournament, and it's not about Butler and Bucknell. If you don't figure out how to beat Davidson, then you'll be home Friday morning, and that's the end of it. And that, like every team, not just Marquette, that added desperation, that's why you see so many crazy things happen in March. Teams don't want to quit. Teams don't want to go home. Teams don't want to end. There's closure and everybody can see it. And so they're just fighting like crazy to hang on. But it's definitely one and done. You better win one and then figure out if you can win the next one.
What's your next?
Davidson, people think of Curry, and you said you don't know much about this team yet. Does McKillop have a style, though?
Yeah, very motion-oriented. They'll really push it at you really, really fast. They'll always have 4 guys on the floor that can shoot. They'll try to knock your head off when they screen you, and very sound defensively. I would say it's if you're what I just told our team, it's Notre Dame. They just don't wear green. They wear black and red. It's Wisconsin. They just don't wear red and white. That's the type of team they are. Very disciplined, very fundamentally sound. Going to have skilled guys on the floor at nearly every position. You won't see necessarily great athletes, but you'll always see guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot, and guys that are really tough. That's I don't know the numbers or the names, but that's why they're back-to-back league champs.
What's your next 72 hours going to be like? You've got a coaching staff. Obviously, every team is different, but is there going to be some differences in things that you've done over the last couple of seasons to take it to another level?
I don't know. As far as our staff and our preparation, that'll be the same. As far as what happens in the next 72 hours, we'll practice 3 times, 3 legitimate times, and probably sleep 9 hours. So there's 9, 11, 13, 15. That's 15 out of 72. I'm going to run an hour a day, so that puts us to 18 out of 72. Just work. Try to learn as much as you can. I mean, they've played more games than we have. How did they do in their conference tournament?
Davidson?
Yeah.
They won it.
So that was 3 games to win it? Or do you know? Watch those 3 games first. And then, I think they've lost 6 or 7, so watch those 6 or 7 games and figure out why they lost. So it's a lot of work, a lot of man hours, just like every other coach, not just us.
That's it.